Thank you so much for joining us today on Passion. I'm your host, Britt Ivy, and today we are fortunate enough to have two actors and musicians and all around very talented gentlemen on the show with us. We have Bob Jackson Minor and Patrick Tovatt.
Cool.
Didn't she handle that?
I had to practice that Tovatt for a long time.
Well, we really ought to all be practicing Tovatt.
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 Tovatt. Tovatt. Oh my, here we go. All right, well, you're in the right place to do that. We lift up our friends around here.
Awesome.
We love to do that on Passion. And
Thank you.
Have so many great guests, and you guys are so passionate about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
I want to talk with you about your current passion.
What is it?
But I know that you also combined, I mean, you each have been in the business for 40 years, acting, singing, writing songs at different times in different places. And I'm sure the audience would love to hear about that. So I guess I just have to pick. Which one are we going to start with here? So, Bob, right now we have a close-up next to me of you starring in 1776.
Oh, geez, you know, I didn't star in that. Actually, let me tell you about the star in that.
Well, the photo looks like you're starring in it.
I'm starring in that number.
That's great. You're
I'm starring in that number. I love that number. That number
1776 is the name of the play.
The name of the play, and we're doing that at Camelot Theater again this year. We did it in 2006. That's what this shot is from, our old theater in 2006. Okay. The star of that show is David Gabriel, who plays John Adams.
Oh, right.
And
that
holy
was wonderful.
moly, are we in good hands with David Gabriel. And Paul Jones is in the show, Rose Passion this year, Priscilla Quimby.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Oh, Kendra Taylor.
Oh,
holy moly. We have a really, really great
cast.
Yeah, totally. And a story really worth telling. Very important. What happened to us as a nation, to us as a people, in that crucible of experience of that Continental Congress in those years when we were deciding whether or not to declare our independence from England. Powerful story.
Time in history.
Amazing time in history.
Amazing time in history.
Yeah, important.
Yes.
Yes, and in the show I play Edward Rutledge, who is a very fascinating man. Ed Rutledge, his nickname was Neddy. Now this is interesting because the real historical Edward Rutledge was the youngest guy in Congress. Like 26 years old at the time, right?
Wow.
But they asked me to play the role because, like, I'm really good with makeup, right? No, because I have a passion for singing this song called Molasses to Rum.
Wow.
Which is the song Ed Rutledge sings in this show, where he holds the North accountable for their role in slavery.
Amazing.
Ooh, very powerful song.
Yeah, all your passion funneled through that. I will definitely be in the audience.
Okay, good, yeah.
And at the end of the show, we're going to run the graphics, so they have the dates. The audience has the dates.
For
I believe
1776.
it's July, correct?
Yes. Well, we start June 20 and run till July 22nd.
Okay, so you'll be running through the 4th of July.
Yes, at the Camelot Theater in Talent, Oregon.
Excellent,
yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Livia's Theater there. Wonderful. Well, congratulations. And Patrick, why is it important to you? This story of 1776, Patrick. Why to you?
It's contemporary. Those issues have been brought forward into
now.
Yeah,
they are. They really are.
We really are still trying to decide whether we're going to be ruled by corporate interests or whether the people are going to take charge of their own governance. That's exactly what 1776 is about.
Thank you,
And in fact,
we the people.
There's
a reason it says we the people.
That's right. And in 1776, you know, in our normal education and stuff, it's not pointed out to us that it literally was a corporate oppression that we were dealing with.
No, that is not pointed out in educational
systems. No, it's hardly ever mentioned.
No.
But it really was. The British East India Tea Company was a corporation, and they were owned by the King and Parliament.
Thus the Boston Tea Party.
And that's
the rebellion against the corporation.
The Bostonians rebelled
most
against.
People don't even understand. They think they're just
at that
goods.
point, the British East India Tea Company had already amassed armies of mercenaries and controlled India and other places in the world. So,
no kidding.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So it is about the same story that we're dealing with now as we the people, which is our ability to recognize who we are and that we do have the power to change what goes on in our nation and in our world.
Yes, we do. Brave people standing up.
That's why I got so interested in...
ironically enough, there were two politicians that were to be on this show, and they have to be in Salem for some important
Good for them. Thank you, guys. Who was that?
Yeah, who served?
Dave Dotterer.
Thank you, Dave.
And Dennis Richardson.
Okay, I appreciate both of those guys for going back to work and getting the job done.
Yeah,
Because
and
it's
thanks
not
to
easy
Dennis,
what they do.
No, it's
No.
not. And thanks to Dennis, which a lot of other people are taking credit for, evidently, we have a little bit of a reserve. I mean, we would be more like California, just going under as far as financials go. He's a financial genius. So
Well, good for
anyway,
That was
we could do a whole show on that with you guys. I see all the
This
passion
is-
coming out.
we
It
could
was
do- we could do years
1776.
on this.
Yeah, we could do
These
years on-
issues are
Wow.
are central
These
to
are
what's
lives.
happening
Yeah.
right now.
Right.
This is why I got so interested in Patrick's music. You know, out of the blue, I got a call at my studio, Patrick Tovatt asking, would I play on his album? Wow. And yeah, sure. And cool studio, because out near Williams, there's a studio that Steve Miller built, and it is
Steve
gorgeous.
Miller Band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful, wonderful place. And so Patrick was working there, so sure I want to do that. And then he sent me the songs. When I heard the songs, I said, "Oh yes,
Sign me
yes,
up.
I am definitely in. These songs need to be heard. This is part of what we need to be saying in our generation right now." And Patrick's just the guy to say it. He's written it well. He sings it well. He plays it well. Just
Wonderful.
walked right in to his side and said, "Let's do this."
And
Yeah.
he's the kind of guy that walks in and adds way more than you ever imagined he was going to add.
He's a value adder, that one.
Oh, it's just
He's a
it's
closet
wonderful
value
because
adder.
he listens.
He lifts people up,
And he has
adds
this-
his talent.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Welcome.
Thanks. Can I get a copy of this show? I'm
Yes,
going to
you
send it.
can.
I'm going to send
That'll
it to
be
my mom.
$500, yeah. No, really, you've added quality
Thank
to my
you.
own life, Bob.
Well, thank you, Britt.
And your amazing voice classes
Oh, thank
years
you.
ago,
Yeah, thank
bringing
you.
members of the community together, people that had never written before, writing songs, people that never sung before. You build people's confidence
Thank
up,
you,
and
dear.
you two together are quite a dynamic duo. I'm catching
Thanks.
this here, real
Thanks.
easy to
He's
pick
been
that
very
up.
kind. He hasn't been. He doesn't critique my singing.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
See,
There's no
Patrick does what we're
comparison,
looking
right?
for. We're looking for the honesty in the story. We want to understand the story and be able to relate to the emotional content of it. Well, Patrick just does that. And plus, he's got
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
decades of experience in theater and
Exactly.
Broadway and all that.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Let's
I'm going to
do.
see if I can get a song out of you first.
Okay.
You wanna get-
Hey, yeah.
Can I
you
get a
wanna do
song out of
Runnin'-
you guys?
Are we going to do Running on Empty?
Your call, buddy.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, and then we'll talk about.
Hey, is that the one that has a whole lot of G in it?
experience.
That's the one that has the. No, that's the one that has
That's the other one, right? Okay.
C and the A7 and
Got it.
and the E.
And then, Bob, I'll follow your lead. We'll talk about Broadway and
Yeah,
Patrick
Patrick's
and
Broadway stuff. Okay.
famous soap
Yeah.
opera star.
Shall we
and
do
all
it?
that.
Liz.
Harvey takes the money, but knows it's all in vain. There's no amount of cash in hand to stop his growing pain. He's running on empty up the great divide. Hands in his pocket, smile a mile wide. A walnut shell covers a dried up pea. I look at you, you look at me, we're running on empty up the great divide. Hands in our pockets, smiles a mile wide. My baby's got a roadster, goes 100 miles an hour. No fear of tomorrow, gonna make that thrill go sour. She's running on empty up the great divide. Hands in her pockets, smile a mile wide. Well, I'm gonna vote for Maggie. I'm Not gonna vote for shame, no matter who I vote for. Gonna turn out just the same. We're running on empty. Up the great divide, hands in our pockets, smiles a mile wide. Go for it. Well, digging for potatoes ain't the same as digging oil. Potatoes got those eyes that see our future in the soil. We're running on empty. Up the great divide, hands in our pockets, smiles a mile wide. Well, I used to have $1, said in God we trust. Then God moved out to China, left my dollar in the dust. I'm running on empty. Up the great divide, hands in my pockets, smiles a mile wide. Let it rip, baby.
Ran out of notes?
We're running on empty.
Yes, sir.
Woo! Wow. Awesome.
Logical comedy.
That is awesome. Even better live.
Oh, thank
Boy, some of those lines, Patrick, some of those lines. That's upside down, I think.
Oh, no, it's
Oh, that's right side up? Okay. I'm
No,
upside down.
no,
I'm
yeah.
upside. The song was so good, I'm upside down.
See what? You're just supposed to do this with it, see?
Well, while we're on this,
Kind of
maybe,
upside down.
maybe we could get a close-up shot of the cover of your album there when the guys have a minute to get a close-up of that.
Oh, yeah. Running on empty.
Yeah, Lost and Found is the
Lost
album
and Found
title,
is the
right?
album.
But yeah, Lost and Found is the album. That's running on empty. That's the second tune on.
It's kind of the
Yeah.
title track. That would be the #1 hit if they were to pick
Well,
one off there.
but Lost and Found is, yeah, that's a good
That's a
one.
good one too.
The album is about things that we have lost and things that are found. There's some personal songs, some political songs, some spiritual musings, but it's every tune has a theme, something lost or something found, or some of the tunes have
Both.
are lost and found.
Yeah.
What line really amazed me was the potatoes with eyes, seeing our future in the soil.
Yes.
If our country had any idea,
Yeah.
well, luckily there is more awareness about it,
Yeah.
but genetic engineering going on in the food in our soil.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it's planned.
Don't get
Don't even get don't get us started.
That's a topic for our concert.
really.
Really.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, Britt. The impending potential disaster is immense. We don't even.
Well, and in fact, the already occurring elements in that disaster were the disappearance of the bees and
Yeah.
such. This is
Significant.
serious stuff.
Right,
This is
right.
serious stuff. We need to wake up as a culture, as a nation. We need to wake up. We need to pay attention, and we need to take individual responsibility
exactly
for how
correct.
we are creating that.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
Yeah.
You know, Jerry Garcia went to my junior high.
Yeah.
And his wife, Deborah Garcia, was out here at the Ashland Independent Film Festival a few years ago. I was fortunate enough to meet her, and she did a documentary film she made called The Future of Food.
Ah, yes.
And I remember going up and telling her, "You are a very brave woman," because she named some culprits in that movie.
Well,
but
They're easy to-
regardless, I
There's
don't
plenty
need
of
to go
blame to
there.
go around, but
yeah,
we
we
also-
don't need to blame. We need to step up
Well,
and
we need to say
solve some
what's our
problems.
part in creating this. How I mean, it's easy
And
for us
even
to
more,
point.
what do we do now? Because there's not
Thank you.
enough time to sit around and figure out. You know, we
Well,
really
we have
need
to
to get on the
speak
ball.
up for one thing.
Yeah, that is
You,
right.
you can't be mute, and you can't say, "Well, nothing I can do will have any effect." That's just not.
We're the only ones who can have effect, is each of us as individuals making our choices on how we vote with our feet. You know, see, it's the economic votes of where we choose to purchase.
Absolutely.
And what we choose to do and not do as individuals. Those are the things that make the difference. That's where corporations like Monsanto and the others that are doing genetic engineering and poisoning the soil with that nonsense, monocultures, what an idiot thing to do. But the guys that are into that, you see, have so many good people relying on them and that system for their well-being.
Right.
And it's complex. There's no just one bad guy, or there may be, but I haven't seen it. I see that we're
I
all
go
part of
trickle
it.
down economics with prayer. I mean, that's where I have to go. I just have to go to prayer. Because, like you mentioned in your song, in God we trust is on our money, and we are the only nation on the face of planet Earth that has God on our currency, and He needs to stay on our currency.
Well, I understand your agenda there. There's not necessarily
not an
something.
agenda, but it's just a passion for me.
Yeah, I
Well,
understand.
that's your passion. I respect that. I just open my mouth and shoot my mouth off. My prayer is political discourse.
Yes, thank you.
Literally,
Political discourse.
I just try to pay attention, and I try not to be silent. This is no time to be silent. This is no time to be reticent. This is no time to be complacent.
It's
Amen.
It's also no
Amen,
time
brother.
to think that our own personal views are the only way things can work. It takes dialogue.
That is a
It
very
takes dialogue.
small-minded thought, to think our own personal views.
But
we
aren't
need
we
a collaboration.
But are we not enculturated? First of all, our egos. It's our ego's nature to be egocentric. That's
This is
the
true.
nature, right?
You
So
are
we're
right.
going to think that we're automatically somehow better than other people, or worse than other people. Either those two are the two sides of the same coin.
Dichotomy is amazing.
Right,
Yes,
and that's
yes.
two sides of the same coin. But when we start to realize that, in fact, we are the other people,
Exactly.
that they are us. They are no more separate from us than the cells in my body are separate, or than this finger is separate
Absolutely.
from... You know, these guys look separate here, right?
But they're not.
But they're not. They're part of a big
joined.
system. And
Right.
so are we, and so are the people in Arabia, and so are the people in Afghanistan and everywhere in the world. It's our political ignorance that allows this other stuff to be occurring.
And I just appreciate your passion so much, you guys.
Thank
and your
you.
passion shows in your collaboration, in your lyrics, in your talent as musicians.
Thank you, dear.
And I'm really excited to have you on again, because I can see another couple shows being very exciting.
Thank you.
And today I'm going to continue to deliver our audience also some gifts from your background talents.
Cool.
Now, to be so multi-talented, to be actors, singers, songwriters. Patrick, you were a playwright, even on Broadway, and a director, 40 years, and also you were a star in soap operas.
Yeah,
They call the Beautiful People TV, right?
That's right. Yeah, big hair, big hair. Yeah, I did about 12 years of daytime.
Wonderful.
The soaps, and
Okay.
it's a great gig. I mean, I was on As the World Turns for 10 years. What acting job lasts 10 years? I mean,
Amazing.
Not lately.
Amazing.
Bob, it's like
Some of them go about 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, my grandmother and then my mother, 1 o'clock, it's time to iron and watch As the World Turns.
There you go.
And until,
What was
Well,
your
I
character's
knew
name?
it.
Cal
Cal
Strickland. I'm
Strickland.
Lily's grandfather.
wow.
The
sweet
heroine's
Lily's.
grandfather.
I remember Cal Strickland. I remember
Yeah.
where I was trying
I'm
to place
I'm a
you.
rich Texas oil man
Right.
and cattle rancher, and he's a real Texan.
I love it.
I'm from Colorado.
Yeah,
actually.
Bob, you had your own television show.
Oh
in
yeah,
Texas
sure,
for
but
4
you know,
years,
yeah, I
didn't you?
did, and that was great fun, and it was very local, very regional. Okay, it was a Fox affiliate, KFOX in El Paso, Texas, and that's where I got the handle Harmonica Bob going.
Okay, it's
And-
trademarked.
Yeah, it is.
Look.
and
Your trademark. You're a walking
yeah, I
trademark.
want to put that over there. But yeah, so yeah, that was back in the early '90s. I was on the air there 4.5 years, and I loved it because I got to work with and entertain a great number of children. That was really a kids show.
Awesome.
And I just love the kids very much, and I got to see them grow up. And I run into them now on occasion. I was in the airport in El Paso, Texas, about a year ago, and the people checking me through the line you have to go through.
Oh, yes, yes,
right?
yes.
The TSA, I guess they call it. They were folks that used to watch me on TV when they were children.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
And so it was a delight to make this contact, and they
Well,
yeah.
you're both life changers.
Thank
and
you.
now you're working on life life-changing art, and you're collaborating. And before we get to the next song, I just have to hear a little bit about your time on Broadway,
Yes.
Patrick. It's just fascinating me. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to
I
you
did,
about
I
it.
did. I did the soaps for years, and then
Okay.
when that character was shuffled off because
Right.
after a while,
Finally, Cal was shuffled
yeah, finally
off.
Cal went back to Texas.
Right.
I decided to go back to the theater because I had come from the theater and had spent the bulk of my career in the theater. The soaps were kind of this interim.
Nice interim.
So I went back and did Shakespeare in Louisville, did Hamlet, played Claudius, and then did Prospero in The Tempest down in North Carolina, and then I did a play up in Buffalo that we went to Vienna with and played
Oh, my goodness.
in Vienna English Theater for 8 weeks. And then I started to work on Broadway, and the first one I did was Copenhagen, which is a play about nuclear, about the meeting between Heisenberg and Bohr during the German occupation of Denmark.
Fascinating.
And when they said, would you do this thing? I was covering the star, the Niels Bohr character. And they said, don't worry, it's probably going to go like, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. This is just so arcane. It's about nuclear physics, okay? And there's a lot of math in it and stuff like that. Nobody's going to... Well, 11 months and a Tony nomination later...
Oh, my gosh.
we finally closed. And they put it on the road. And I said, well, I'd love to go on the road with it. They said, no, we've got a star that we want to send out on the road with us. I said, okay, well, then I'll go back to the next job.
Amazing.
And I had auditioned for a play called Proof, which is about a dead mathematician and his daughter. So from one mathematician, one nuclear physicist, I was playing Niels Bohr, to this guy Robert in Proof, and they opened it without me because I was still doing
Niels Bohr.
Niels Bohr, doing Copenhagen. Yeah. And then the guy who was Dr. John, as a matter of fact, Larry Brigman from As the World Turns, who was playing Robert, left after, I guess, about 3 months.
John Dixon?
John Dixon.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he was playing Bob, Robert, the mathematician. So I took over for him, and I played it pretty much the rest of the run, about 430.
Well, congratulations. We'll have a show on physics next.
Well, this
Can
was
you
higher
believe it?
math, and it was just,
Wow.
it was, but Proof. I think they've done it here, right?
I haven't seen it.
The
I think
play?
they have quite a while
They did a
back.
movie with
They
Gwyneth
did do a
Paltrow,
movie, yes. It was, yeah, I did not see it, but
We were better.
yeah, I'm sure.
We were really.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what
well,
is amazing to me?
do you remember that old joke about how many actors does it take to do a role?
Yeah.
Well, 13, 1 to do it, and 12 more to go, I could do that
I could
better.
do that better. Exactly. No, it was a wonderful experience. That's a very nice play to do night after night because
I
the
can
audience
imagine.
just loves it.
Well, believe it or not, we have about 2 or 3 minutes at the most.
Really?
So we are going to ask you to go
Why
into
don't-
your second song here.
Why don't
Well,
we,
just do the A shuffle,
let's,
and then they'll play out on the other thing.
Actually, we have music to play out on, I think.
So-
or no, they're playing out on your
let's
music.
play yours. Let's
Okay.
play your other song.
Okay, we'll do Lost and Found. This is the
Patrick Tovatt.
This is
and
the
Bob
title.
Minor,
Tovatt.
Harmonica. Bob, thank you for coming on Passion.
You're sure welcome.
And I hope
Thank
you'll
you,
come
Britt.
on again soon.
Thank you, Britt. It's always
That
a
was
pleasure
way too
hanging out with
short.
you, girl.
You too. It's way too short.
Thank you, dear.
All right. So is that a yes for come back on Passion?
You betcha.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
All you have to do is issue the invitation.
Okay. Consider it
I don't
done.
want to speak for Bob, but I'm speaking for myself. I'll be here in a minute.
Perfect. So this is the A shuffle.
Are we doing A shuffle?
No, we're doing Lost and Found.
Oh, Lost and Found. Wonderful. Okay.
But I have to actually tune.
All right.
Okay. 1, 2.
We'll get what we can.
Want to go out? Can we start again?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. I want to die in a western landscape where the last real cowboys roam, and sweet water is more precious than the most palatial home. I want to live out my life. So, you know what? I've lost my lyrics.
You have?
Can you believe that?
Why don't we do the A shuffle instead?
Let's do the A shuffle.
And then we'll let them
I can't.
play.
You can play that out. You've got that on tape.
This is a comedy.
This is-
Yeah, right.
We love our audience on Passion.
Here we go.
This is real, by the way.
Oh.
No lyrics. That's good.
Great hanging out with you, Britt.
Thank you,
Great
Britt.
having you guys here. Thank you so much.
Couldn't remember the lyrics to the title tune. That's not a good sign, is it?
Oh, it happens.
Bob, do you think that's
It happens.
No, I think it's a perfect
age
sign.
and infirmity?
No.
No, we
Couldn't
call
be.
it sometimers. It happens to every
Sometimes?
age. It's the soil deterioration.
That's it. I'm blaming it on Monsanto.
All right. God bless you guys. Thank you for coming
Thank
on
you,
Thank you,
Passion.
Britt.
Good
Thank you
hanging out
so
with you.
much for joining us on Passion. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.